An Israeli and U.S.-backed group paused food delivery at its 3 distribution centres in the Gaza Strip after health officials said dozens of Palestinians were killed in a series of shootings near the sites this week. The controversial Gaza Humanitarian Foundation said it was in discussions with the Israeli military on better guiding foot traffic, that's pedestrians arriving near the distribution hubs, and enhancing military training procedures to promote safety. The move came a day after Israeli forces acknowledged opening fire as people headed towards a GHF site in the now mostly uninhabited southern Gazan city of Rafah, a military zone off limits to independent media. On Sunday, 31 Palestinians were shot dead. On Tuesday, 27 gunned down in similar circumstances, basically gathering at the food hubs for desperately needed food supplies. Let's bring in Noga Tarnopolsky. Noga is our correspondent joining us live from Jerusalem. Noga, as always, great to have you on the programme. Good evening to you. Tell us more about this development on aid.
Good evening, Mark. Well, there are a few developments tonight. One is a new video has emerged that appears to show, or almost impossible that anyone other than IDF fire was responsible for the death of about 30 people on Monday. Video taken by one of the people who was eventually killed among these crowds trying to get food. That's one thing. Another thing is following up on the revelation by the IDF spokesman on Sunday that in fact the IDF had set up these distribution centers. Tonight, the Israeli national broadcaster Kan revealed that secretly last month the Israeli cabinet set aside $200 million to fund this effort. So more and more, whatever we're going to call this unsuccessful effort to distribute food and other aid to Gazans appears to be a wholly owned Israeli subsidiary, as far as we can tell.
The people of Gaza then now, given that food distribution is suspended, have nothing at all. So the situation, which has been described as bordering on famine, actually getting worse?
For now, it's getting worse. And, you know, from what we understood this morning, this group, this Gaza Humanitarian Foundation distribution centers were supposed to reopen tomorrow. But for now, we have no confirmation of that. And we have no evidence that any other aid is getting in. For example, a few days ago, the Israeli army was allowing in UN trucks. Again, we don't know if their contents were able to be distributed to anyone, but the trucks were allowed in. We haven't gotten any news like that. So yes, Gaza right now seems to be basically a besieged enclave with nothing getting in for the civilians.
We're seeing, as you're talking to us, Noga, we're seeing archive images, but they're very recent archive images of what is happening in Gaza, and it looks like a very desperate situation indeed. Let's talk about the hostages, because they are still in the hands of Hamas. 58, if I'm not mistaken. I know you'll correct me if I'm wrong. They're still in the hands of Hamas, so one can only imagine that pressure continues to mount on Benjamin Netanyahu to bring about a solution.
That's right. I have nothing to correct. You have the number right. 58 Israeli hostages. Their situation and the situation of their families is also desperate, a different sort of desperation. There are, again, protests, even very near here in Jerusalem tonight, against the government, demanding a deal. Increasingly broken families are demanding that their loved ones be brought back, that the government find some way to make a deal. But the government is plowing ahead with really very little regard either to the criticism from its allies around the world or to these demands from Israelis. Today, Netanyahu faced both his corruption trial and a major political crisis. And so there were some murmurings among the public that maybe if he's weakened politically, this might raise the chances of him acquiescing to some deal. But these are really just desperate straws being held by these family members.
Noga Tarnopolsky in Jerusalem, as always, thank you very much indeed for the clarity you bring to what is a very delicate and dangerous situation around you. Thank you very much again, Noga Tarnopolsky, our correspondent there in Jerusalem, watching all developments.